Welcome to the Collector's Cast, everybody. We're back. I'm Clint the Collector, Clint Wilson, your host. Here's your other host, Mike Bloski. How you doing today, Mike?
Hey, awesome, buddy. How are you?
Not bad. We're going to surprise a lot of people today who don't have a lot of money. We're going to tell them they can have big collections too.
Yes.
Because there's a way. There's a way to cheat.
And it's one of my sort of favorite ways of getting into collecting, because I'll explain it later, but it's
Well, we're talking about collecting, not necessarily having to find old stuff, because there's a lot of new stuff being manufactured now that looks really good.
Modern collectibles, I call them, and a lot of people call them reproductions, but
they're being made now for people to put it, reproduction, whatever you want to call it. It looks good. And
it looks good. It looks great. And especially if it's the look you're going for, like a lot of times I just want a certain look, and I don't care if it's 50 years old or 3 years old. I've been to a lot of collectors' houses, barns, basements, attics, whatever. And some of the coolest things I've ever seen, I've looked up and gone, oh, wow, what's that? And I swear, like half the time, even seasoned collectors go, oh, that's just some aftermarket thing I put up there to look good. And really, man, that looks old. That looks cool. And so I've been fooled plenty of times. And so I'm a bit of a purist in that I like to get a really rare $1,000, $2,000 sign, but not everybody can play like that. And there are options. We're going to have a guest on here that specializes in those. Yes, she sure does.
And not only that, but neon. We're going to talk a little neon too, which is very cool.
Yes, and how neon is much more accessible to people.
Now, I guess something's happened in technology or whatever. Anyway, we're going to get her on as our guest by Zoom. And I think without further ado, let's fade to a little break. And we'll come right back with Amy Vitke from the Badass Garage. See y'all in a minute.
See you soon.
Welcome back to the Collector's Cast, everybody. As promised, we've got our guest with us, Amy Vitke from the Badass Garage. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Amy. How you doing?
Hey, Mikey. I'm doing great. And you?
Oh, great. I was just saying to Clint earlier, you must have been crazy busy leading up to Christmas because you got all that great man cave stuff in your garage, Badass Garage.
That's right. I sure do. It was ladies' day here every single day for November and December, getting special gifts for their husbands and coming in and having conversations about things that they could create or make that were very personal and special, and other things that were just off the shelf. But normally we have lots of guys in here, but it was all girls, so it was kind of fun.
Cool. That's kind of a twist.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll get into this a little bit, but I just don't want to lose this one thought. So much of the stuff that you create there and can be customized to almost anything an individual wants, and we'll get into this more on your signs and stuff.
Yeah, maybe a quick rundown that the public doesn't realize. Amy sells new collectibles in the way of diecast cars, signage, neon signs, all sorts of things like that. But they can also definitely be customized. You can have stuff made with your own name on it. I've done it. Some of the old style push bars. Like for going in and out of a store, they usually have Coke, Pepsi, or other advertising. I had some made that say Clint the Collector and so on. So how is it? What's selling right now? What's the big popular stuff at the moment?
Always neon signs. They seem to be making a bit of a comeback, and people are really excited to be able to make ones that are very unique to them. And they go home knowing they have the only sign that looks like that. Cool. So that's one of our big sellers. And we've been working really hard at trying to find some great custom car culture signage and merchandise maybe that goes with your vehicle, and things that come out of the U.S., out of the Western U.S., where a lot of the people here travel to and go buy those unique items that have never been available in Canada. And so those kinds of things have become very popular. So we're working hard on getting more of that here, so people, if they don't want to, don't have to go south.
I see. And back to the neon for a sec, you say that's your hot seller. I know traditionally neon has been incredibly expensive in the old days. Now, you've seemed to have hooked up with a company or companies, correct me if I'm wrong, that does it fairly affordable. And it's real neon. It's not fake or anything. It's actual neon tubing, and they bend it and they make it. And So how are they how are they able to do it so affordable these days? What's changed?
I really don't know. Sadly, I wasn't a part of this kind of culture before I started this, so I didn't have a really great frame of reference. But I think that
So you just went around thinking that neon signs are worth a few $100s instead of a few $1,000s. That was just
well, I didn't really have an idea of how they were priced out or, how those things worked before I started doing this. And even still, signs that are made in different places have a different cost to them. So,
oh, of course.
one of the companies that I connected with, I'm not sure, exactly how he's able to get his pricing so well priced, but he is, and I'm very happy for that. And he's worked with us very closely. Is he would like his merchandise available in Canada, and we wanted to be able to help him do that. There's quite a few companies that want to be in Canada, and didn't know how to do that before I've connected with them. So they've given us some special pricing, understanding that our Canadian dollar is not doing great at the moment. And, everything that comes out of the US, you have to multiply by 1.4 to get a realistic number for what you're paying. And so they've reduced the price for me to be able to bring those things here and sell them more affordably.
Yeah, well, you're definitely opening up the gateway to the South because you're getting up stuff here that I never even knew existed, really. And I guess the neon, maybe it's just a product of a modern technology. It's getting easier to make stuff, mass production. I don't know.
It always seemed to me that neon was almost sort of like an unattainable thing because it would be expensive. You'd see a neon sign for sale and it'd be expensive. Or you'd say, oh, I'd like a neon sign. I remember years ago, for a motorcycle shop of mine, I wanted a neon sign, and I contacted these guys, and the price was just crazy. And it's just awesome now that you've done this, Amy, and more people have access to it. Also, another thing I noticed when I'm in your shop is the unbelievable amount of signs. Now, in our business, we call them reproduction signs. And I personally am a huge fan of reproduction signs because a lot of times I don't care if something is 70 years old. I just want the look. I want that original Ford logo or whatever. And that's something that you do a lot of, isn't it?
Yes, we do. So we have a couple of kinds of signs. So far, anyway, I've only been doing this a couple of years now, but this year especially, I've gone full force trying to locate signs as I realize, the different brands that people are after. Our shop is completely curated by our customers. They come in and they've asked for something, and we just go find it. Because it's really important to have what they want. Everything in here is curated by the customers. 2 years ago, when I started doing this, I really had to ask a lot of questions, like what was a 32 deuce? What did that mean? Or Mopar? Or like I really was, I didn't know cars. So, but it was just as easy to do cars and guy garage things as it was to do kitchenware for me. So I was more interested in doing what the people that were coming to me wanted. So in that, they've asked for so many different things, and some things are easier to find than others. But was certainly able to easily locate reproduction signs that they might emanate out of China, but they come via the US, and they've got lots of different brands available.
And not just the tin ones either. I'm sorry to interrupt, but not just the tin ones, but you've recently come out with some porcelain signs, some aftermarket reproduction porcelain.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and those ones are exclusively made in the USA, and they're made on 22 gauge steel. They've got these beautiful rivets in them. The color is fantastic. It's nice and bright, and they're made to be fashioned after vintage signs. So they're clearly sold as reproduction signs. But what it does, I think, one of the things I've learned anyway, is that in the last couple of years, there's a lot of younger guys. They really want to collect, and they want to have some of this stuff. And it really matters to them that they have a part of their grandfather's heritage or their father's or their great-grandfather's. But for them to go buy, a 1950s porcelain Ford sign is going to cost them way more than they have.
Yeah.
But if they can find something that looks really, really close, and something put out, they're so happy to have that and, to carry that forward. And maybe when they're later in life, they'll be able to get one of those porcelain signs, but it really gets them off to a kickstart because really those younger guys, in my shop, the only original signs that, they have in their budget are old license plates.
Yeah.
That's about where it's at. So, and that's where they start here. And we have lots of those available.
See,
But it's nice to find the others.
I'm one of those guys, Amy, and it's not like I say, if I think, well, do I want to spend hundreds or thousands on a sign? Not really, but I sure want to spend much less than that on one of your signs. And my favorite sign, actually, that I have comes from your store.
Oh, which one's that?
The Sasquatch.
Oh, yeah.
That Sasquatch sign, yes.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah.
That's it. That's
For those audio-only listeners, Amy is holding up a Sasquatch.
That's the
not a
one.
real one, but a sign of a fairly large Sasquatch.
I look at that every day.
What you're really doing though is you're taking guys and girls that are into the car culture, the collecting culture, the whole hot rod, the 50s, the leather jackets, motorcycles, who are on a budget. You're making their dreams come true over there. You're giving them all sorts of options on a budget that they can make their place look pretty skookum just by grabbing a few things at the Badass Garage.
I'm always so flattered that people come here to find images that make them feel good and are able to put them on their wall. And so when people are able to get let's use the white rose sign.
Yeah.
It's a little boy holding a sign. And, people see that and they smile because they remember their grandfathers or, their uncle. Or
I think you're talking about the anarcho boy. The anarcho boy.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's just such a cute little kid holding that thing. It makes me smile.
Yeah.
And so, for them to be able to take that image home and have it on their wall and, show it proudly, and they look really good. They're nicely made signs. There's junk signs for sure. I hate it when I get a load of signs and one of them in there isn't, it's just not up to par.
Yeah.
These are beautiful signs. Anybody would be happy to hang them and, show them off.
Well, you're a very progressive thinking business person. I'll give you that because you're always listening to your customer. You're always trying to get them what they're asking for rather than trying to give them what you think they want. And it's paying off for you, obviously, because you're busy and you're still doing mobile trips to the Mission Drag Strip, are you? Mission Raceways? Have you been?
My goodness! You know what? Without them, I wouldn't have got such a good start. They were just like a big brother business that let me just put my table up every single weekend. We went regardless whether we sold $50 or $500. It didn't matter. We went and we learned. So being that there's Peyton as well as myself that maybe didn't know as much about cars, going to Mission Raceway every weekend to go sell your things and look at cars and listen. We got a really good education, if nothing else.
Awesome.
And people there are so willing to teach.
And another thing, you mentioned Peyton, and
Peyton is Amy's stepdaughter.
Yeah,
Nice gal,
works with
nice
her,
young kid.
Great graphic artist.
Yes.
And
Yes.
everyone knows that I love boats. Next to my children, my boat is my everything. And Peyton made a super name of my boat. My boat's name is Tomahawk. Mm-hmm. And Peyton made the lettering for it for the go on
the stern.
on the transom of my boat.
The transom, sorry.
The transom.
Mike
part,
knows all the terminology.
And so that there again is something when we were talking about the custom things you can do, and is that I was sort of didn't really know. I kind of knew a few places I could go, but I went to Amy and I said, "Hey, can you guys make this name for the back of my boat?" And they
Not
did.
a problem.
And there's another thing, so that custom touch, like your door pushes and the signs from a boat. You guys are doing like multiple things there. It's not just you guys have signs. You have a lot of stuff.
I myself don't collect just strictly original signs. I have some reproductions and things. And it's not just signs and stuff. I've just realized sitting here, I'm wearing a jacket that came from the Badass Garage. You sell all sorts of cool stuff. You sell shirts, jackets, hats. It's really quite the plethora of man cave items, really, or she shed. We don't want to exclude the ladies, but we
call it Babe Cave around here.
Babe Cave. There you go.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, but between your garage and showing up at the Mission Drags and selling your stuff, you're really building a name for yourself in the British Columbia Lower Mainland. It's great to see, and I can only see it getting bigger because you never say no. You always say yes. So can you do this? It's not, well, let's say, of course we can. And it's that never say die attitude, that positivity that you got going on that's going to continue your success, I believe.
Thank you. One of the things that I said at the beginning is everything is possible, and I try and live up to that. And so even today, I had somebody come in and ask me if I could do a certain design for a certain neon and with certain components to it. And I said, well, I don't know. I haven't done one yet, but I hadn't done any of this yet. So let's just give it a shot. If you can be patient with me while we try, then we'll give it a go. So and that's how it's been the entire time. With your push bar, same thing. I didn't know if we could do it, but we gave it a try. And different.
Because you listened to me asking, I said the thing about the clear coat, right? Is that what we're talking about?
That's
Clear
right.
coating
Exactly.
Because you could decal them, but clear coating them locks them in and makes it look so much better. And that was something that you probably wouldn't have approached doing unless I had asked for it. And now all of a sudden you got this other aspect. So.
Your logo design was my very first logo I had ever designed.
Oh, wow. So those of you who know the Clint the Collector logo has myself in a top hat on it. That was designed right there at the Badass Garage.
So I have a question for Amy. Is there something that you specifically collect, like outside of your business, or something that you have a little hobby collecting?
I love anything for the kitchen, anything at all. So anything that slices and dices and mows the lawn. But if I can goof around with it in the kitchen, my favorite thing to do to relax and unwind or show appreciation is to cook.
Wow.
Oh, so
Yeah.
So
you probably might do some shopping on the late night channel, the shopping channel.
Are you saying she's got a starfrit addiction or
yeah,
something?
starfrit.
Ron Popeil.
Yeah.
Ron Popeil. Everybody knows
Ron Popeil.
Yeah.
I had everything he ever made.
Oh,
Wow.
What about a pocket fisherman?
Oh, no, not that one.
Okay, you're talking cooking stuff, though. Yeah, Ron Popeil
Just
cooking
cooking.
stuff. But the
Just
pocket
cooking.
fisherman, that's what I remember
I've
about
got
Ron
one.
Popeil. Ah, there you go. So between collectively, we've got everything Ron Popeil ever made or sold. Wow,
we go.
I really appreciate you coming on this episode. We didn't know how we were going to do it, talk about new collectibles, but you've kind of done it for us. You've shown us that you're there, you're accessible, people can get a hold of the Badass Garage. Do you have an Instagram or a shout out, a website? Or?
Sure do. Our Facebook, I do a fantastic job of, and everything's on there.
Yes,
So
you
that's the Badass Garage Limited. And I'm one lady, so I kind of do an okay job of Instagram, but I am working very hard right now on our web store. So we will have a national web store at thebadassgarage.ca starting hopefully in a few weeks. And then it doesn't matter where people are. At least all the signs are regular signs that I can order and sell. And all our neon will all be available that way to buy. And then any customs, they can contact me. And maybe later on, we'll even have some components where people can do some customs right on our website.
Oh,
That'll
cool.
be, that's some forward.
Well, sounds like you're rolling into the new year full steam ahead, and you're not looking back,
Yep.
are you? That's awesome.
No, not at all. That's boring. I already been there. We're going forward.
Cool. Well, I wish we had more time to talk, but we are on a bit of a limit here. I just want to thank you with all my heart. I mean, I'm a customer. I'll continue to be a customer. So will Mike. And we're going to keep directing people to you because you're just a fantastic person to deal with. You got lots of great deals. Amy, the Badass Garage, it's a great place to visit.
See you soon, Amy.
Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy my couch.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Back it up for a second before we sign off here.
Yeah.
The famous couch from the Collector's Cast set is from the Badass Garage. I forgot all about
Sure
that.
is.
You're
Awesome.
absolutely right. See, you continue to make us look good over here.
And
Thank you.
My favorite motorcycle jacket
That's
I got
right.
from you, Amy.
Oh, the
That's
Harley.
right.
You talked me into it.
There you go.
Yes, I sure did.
Wow, she's a heck of a salesperson, I think, is what we're looking at here.
Talk to you soon, Amy.
Okay, Amy,
Thank
have a
you,
great
guys.
night. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
night.
We're going to go
Bye-bye.
for a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Collector's Cast, everyone. We're back. That was Amy.
Wow.
She's got a cool store.
Oh, she's got a cool store.
And she's a cool lady.
Oh, yeah. Very nice person. And I get kind of lost in there because there's so much stuff in there. And again, I like sometimes just the look of stuff. And I've got that Sasquatch sign from her, and it's up on the wall in my office. And I just love looking at it.
Ah, well, and you know what? Most of the stuff in her store, you don't have to be like an oil Arab to afford it. It's all reasonably priced. So yeah, thanks to her again for coming on. So that's kind of been our episode about collecting the new collectibles. But before we wrap it up, I understand you have the trivia question ready to go for today.
You know, we were talking about neon.
Oh, I love neon.
You know, old neon, new neon. So here's a good one. What is, Clint, listen to this one, the largest neon sign known right now? What is the largest neon sign ever made?
Okay, I got to give it a little thought. But you know what? The first thing that pops into my head is that giant cowboy in, is it Vegas or Reno? You know what I mean? The giant cowboy neon sign.
Yeah.
It's not, okay, he's shaking his head, so it's not that. Boy, it's probably something newer, like something stupid I don't know, like Elon Musk erected a 300-foot neon sign at Tesla or something. Is it something like that?
No.
No. Then I'm
going to just tell you.
Just tell me.
The letter M, installed on the Great Mississippi River Bridge in Memphis, Tennessee, USA, is 550 meters long, which is 1,800 feet.
It's the letter M, and it's 1,800 feet long.
800 feet long.
Or 800 feet.
And it comprises of 200 high-intensity lamps.
And it's a giant letter M.
On the Mississippi River Bridge
In Memphis, Tennessee. Now, I wonder here, just thinking out loud, is the M for Mississippi or Memphis? Nobody knows for sure.
Nobody knows for sure.
We're going to have to research that. Well, maybe if you send that to our producer, we can get a picture of that up on the Instagram page, which is at the Collectors Cast, just so you know, there's Instagram to look at. I did not know that. I did not know that.
A giant
Ed.
M.
A giant letter M. M could stand for Michael. Maybe it's calling your name.
1,800 feet long.
Jeez, that's... Oh, 800. 1,800.
1,800.
1,800, not 800. 1,800. Okay, I'm glad we clarified the error, because 800 would be a tiny little sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, something new we've been doing. We used to go to a listener question, which we tried to change up. Now we're doing this new thing called Show Us Your Stuff, and we'll remind you to send your stuff to feedback@thecollectorscast.com is the email. And this week, and we'll just, through the magic of technology, we'll put it up there in the air. And look, it's that picture from Don McNeil in Abbotsford.
Yeah.
The license plate collector.
License plate guy.
And here, this picture, he's obviously wallpapered a room with license plates. And, I've seen some other pictures of Don's place. That's not all his plates. That's just scratching the surface. He's a serious license plate dude.
Yeah, that's one serious license plate collection.
I know of only one guy I think that may rival his, and that's Bill Hobbs that works for Cap Spikes. That was a guest on our bicycle episode. He has a very large license plate collection as well. But Don from Abbotsford, thanks for sending us your pictures, and we're only putting the one up right now, but he's got lots, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of those cool 2-digit plates too and stuff, just real specialty stuff that I think that's what he gets, is the stuff you just don't see around every day. So thanks for that, and send us your pictures, like I said, and we'll try to get you a little bit famous and put you on the air.
Show us your stuff.
Show us your stuff. We were going to call it Show Us Your Junk at one point.
Yeah.
And we were afraid of what we were going to get.
Yeah.
in the email, but we just smartly changed it up. Do not show us your junk, just show us your stuff.
Right.
All right. Well, we've talked about new collectibles today. We've made them affordable. We've introduced you to Amy at the Badass Garage. I think we've done all we can do for today.
I think we have, Clint.
Well, it's just been a pleasure educating you all, getting educated myself. We always teach and learn at the same time, don't we?
Well, yeah, more learning than teaching.
Yes. Well, speak for yourself. Okay, this has been the Collector's Cast. I've been Clint. He's been Mike. You've been fantastic. Good night, everybody.
See you next time.
Thanks, everyone.